Hi everybody, this is Alchemist2 back again with another movie review. And this time I'm reviewing the film The Duchess. This film is about Duchess Georgiana, who was arranged into a marriage with Lord Spencer. And from the very beginning, you have an idea that these two are not a match at all. They're complete opposites. Georgiana is very passionate, loving, caring, warm, kind, gentle, and just a lady in all senses of the imagination. And Lord Spencer comes off as very aloof and cold and calculating and harsh. So they butt heads quite a bit in the beginning, and later on we find that Georgiana is not happy at all in her relationship, and she meets a friend, the Lady Elizabeth, who is an interesting character. And I don't know if what the two experienced was friendship, or maybe could have been more than that, because in the film it sort of has hints that maybe they were lesbians, perhaps. I don't know. It's hard to say. It kind of goes into that, just, a little hint of that. But it just sort of makes you think what kind of relationship the two had. But later on, I'm not going to give anything away, because that's going to give away a huge plot point. But later on, Georgiana meets one of the politicos, Mr. Grey, and she develops a romantic relationship with him. I know that's a spoiler, sorry, but her relationship and love for him is far stronger than anything she could have ever had with Lord Spencer. But I was looking up what makes a duke different than, say, a prince, and according to Wikipedia, and I'm not sure if this is correct, it probably is correct, but a duke, or the ruler of a duchy, such as the princely states of German and Holy Roman empires. And then a prince is he rules a principality. And I think usually Prince is firstborn. I don't know if I'm pretty sure they did have arranged marriages between those as well, because I know a little bit about this, having studied the Romanovs. But the Romanovs, they married within their own lineage, and of course that caused the youngest son to have hemophilia. And if you know the story very well, I know this is kind of going off on a tangent, but if you know the tale, then Rasputin decided to take advantage of that to the best of his ability, and he did that very, very well. But that aside, personally, I really like this film, even though it was agony to watch at times because of the marital or lack thereof arguments and fights and just disruptions, and it was sad. But the betrayal between Elizabeth and Georgiana was also hard to watch. But later on, Georgiana forgives her. They become friends again. I'm not going to tell you how that happens, but it's just, this film itself is very intriguing, because if you are at all interested in the 1700s and the Spencer family, because I didn't really know anything about the Spencer family at all, but if you know anything about Diana, it also makes it even more intriguing, because she too is a Spencer, and you probably see that the apple didn't fall far from the tree. But suffice it to say, but it's very well done. The countryside is absolutely sumptuous. It's just breathtaking. I love English countryside, and I hope that I could see it in reality someday, because I bet Panorama doesn't really do it justice. And of course, just the period of time. I really like the period of time. I actually like Victorian England a little bit better than 1700s, but it's just it's very intriguing to me. And to see the emergence of the Whig Party, and I knew a little bit about that myself as I studied that in school. It's fascinating, and I wouldn't give it 4 stars because there are some dry periods, and there are just some moments where you you kind of get a little bit sleepy, because it does move kind of at a deliberate pace. But beyond that, it's very it's intriguing if you like the history and you want to know a little bit about our forefathers before we got under the thumb of the monarchy. But that aside, I really liked this film. It was very enjoyable, and I would, if you were a history buff, I would definitely recommend it to you, because you would just love it. It's wonderfully done. I think it was accurate. I'm not really sure if it's entirely accurate. If you're British, if you know anything about this history about Georgiana, please correct me if I'm wrong. But let me know if it is a accurate portrayal, because as an American, I personally thought it was, because I didn't know anything at all considering the Spencer family, and it's a wonderful film. It really is. It's just glorious to look at. The costumes are just right on the mark, and I really do think that the Duchess was forerunner in the world of fashion, a trailblazer, if you will. And just, I'm so glad that we don't live in a day and age where we have to be forced into marriage as some other people, some other countries. I'm sure that this still goes on in a lot of royal arrangements, but I don't know if it does it, or if this happens anymore or not. I do know that it does occur. That's all I have to say. 3 stars out of 4. Check it out. Bye.